teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate to 1 cup of water. You could gargle with that. Mouth cancer, you could gargle with it. Stomach cancer, you could take it first thing in the morning when there's no digestion happening, maybe an hour before you're going to have your meal. And the person could take it just before they go to bed at night. Sodium bicarbonate could also be used in an enema if someone has colon cancer. Remember, it'll alkalise and make it very difficult for cancer to survive if it touches it.
What are the proportions of that?
1 teaspoon to 1 cup. Pardon? Yep. So for an enema, the person might just do warm water to empty the colon and then take the sodium bicarbonate in and hold it for about 10 minutes and then let it out. But what we do at Misty Mountain is we do sodium bicarbonate wraps. And with the sodium bicarbonate wraps, we do 2 kilo of sodium bicarbonate to 5 litres of hot water. And with that, we usually do the juice of a lemon. And this is what we did with Elizabeth Cott, the lady who conquered her tumours in her abdomen. This is wraps. So this is wrapping the outside of the body. Now this is quite a concentrated treatment, and a person really has to be a little trained in this. So what we do is we dip a towel in, we wring it out, and we wrap it around the torso, and then it's quickly covered because you can't let any air get to the wet towel. We do boiling water because by the time you've wrung it, you've got to have rubber gloves, and by the time you pull it out and wrap it around, it's losing its heat. It must be hot. Then we do one leg, and then we cover the leg with a, do you call them trash bag? Call them garbage bag. Plastic's not touching the skin, it's just covering and keeping it hot. Then a blanket around that, then the other leg, blanket around that. Then cover that with a blanket. Only wool. You can only use a woolen blanket. Those fluffy mink blankets, there's none of those in my house. That's plastic fabric. I don't like it. Must be wool. Only wool will insulate. Then you do one arm, then the other arm. Yeah, but you know, it's a good idea to practice on each other before you actually do it, because you cannot let any air get to those wet towels, because then the person will chill. And we wrap the whole person up in a few blankets, and then they are staying there for 1 hour. And what happens is with those hot, moist, wet towels, the pores open and the skin takes in the sodium bicarbonate and it takes it where it needs to go. So you're using the skin. Uterine cancer, the castor oil compresses can be done on the abdominal area. If it's in the vagina, they can make suppositories, half castor oil and half coconut oil. And you know, you've got the fingers of a disposable glove, you pour it into the fingers and when it solidifies you cut them off and there's your suppository. That can be put into the colon, that can be also put in the vagina. So depending on where the cancer is, there might be some water treatments that you would do, there might be some poultices that you would do, but whatever the cancer is, we find it all responds to this. With prostate cancer, the balancing of the hormones is very important, and there's a herb called saw pimento. And saw pimento is excellent at reducing the inflammation of the prostate. He was a strawberry farmer, so we saw that one of his main problems was exposure to chemicals on the strawberry plants. We also, and it's not easy to discuss this one, but for a period of time this man had a problem with pornography. And when a man ejaculates sexually, he exhausts all his zinc. And zinc is necessary in a roundabout process to help reduce the inflammation of the prostate gland. He had conquered that problem in his life, but for many years he was continually exhausting his zinc. You can see what I'm saying, when it's overdone over many, many years, it exhausts the zinc, and the zinc plays a protective role in protecting a man from prostate. So we have seen quite a few people recover from cancer. Much depends on the type of cancer, much depends on how advanced it is, much depends on how diligent the person is to do what you've got to do. So whatever the stage of cancer, can you see the natural treatments are always a plus? Because the fact is, more people die from chemotherapy than from cancer. And one lady came to us with brain cancer. Head was on the side, she was shaking, she was in a wheelchair, she was only in her 50s. And her daughter said to us, do you know, she was just on the mobile phone the whole time. Years just on the mobile phone. And they think that was a contributing factor. We discovered that she hadn't opened her bowels for 6 days. So we got things moving there. And we started to implement the basic program. She went home feeling so much better. In fact, the doctor couldn't believe the difference that he saw in her. 6 months later, she got the all clear, no more brain tumour. She was rubbing castor oil into it as well. But she still had the shake. She still had her head on the side. And the doctor said it was the damage from the radiotherapy. So when she first found out she had a brain tumour, they said, quick, we can get you in to do radiotherapy straight away. It's going to shrink the tumour. That sounds attractive. But it's very difficult. I know it's even better today to target it, but it's still very difficult not to damage any other cell. And the doctor admitted if she hadn't had the radiotherapy, she possibly could have fully recovered. But because of the damage done from the radiotherapy, she basically had to stay in the wheelchair for the rest of her life. So you can see by what I've told you today, there's no wonder cure. This is not a wonder cure. And the Healthcare Complaints Commission desperately tried so hard to get me to say that. But I will never say that because it is not. The wonder cure is the body when it's given the right conditions. And the sunshine is very good for any cancers. You've got to go to bed early. We're going to be looking at sleep in detail. Your body heals at twice the rate while you're sleeping. But ideally those early hours of the night. Trust in God. Give to Him all of your problems. There's a beautiful verse found in Psalm 55:22. Cast your burden upon the Lord, and He shall sustain thee. He will never suffer the righteous to be moved. He is the sustainer. Abstain from anything that could contribute to the damage in the body. Moderation in all of the good things. And daily exercise is a powerful way to ensure that your body's getting well oxygenated.